He is born in the slums. He is growing up in poverty. But he starts changing his thoughts. I wish I can do something meaningful and useful in life. He's not thinking just I, me, and myself. And then the situation such happens that he gets a scholarship in college. And again, he is cultivating noble thoughts. I really wish to help this world. And finally, when he graduates, he meets a venture capitalist who says, I have to put this factory and you are the most responsible and reliable. Will you help me? And he gets the chance he wants. If you meet him after 20 years, you find that he is giving employment to 10,000 people. Now you can say he just became lucky. But that is not the real reason. He attracted that luck by his thoughts. In the same way, you can say this poor guy became a victim of circumstances. Everything was just so unfavorable that he did crime and he went to jail. But that is again not the case. He had the desire to sin and the circumstances only connived. So every time we need to begin this process of self-improvement from within. Now I like to say that people, many of you are already 40, 50 years old. What have you thought of all your life? How to grow externally. Bigger house, more salary, higher rank, bigger status. And how much did you focus on trying to grow internally? So at least henceforth, make this the priority. And to emphasize that concept, I have written this book, 7 Mindsets, that success requires the internal resource more than anything else. And we discussed the first mindset. And what was that? Positivity. We discussed its importance, how to cultivate, and then we moved on to the mindset of responsibility, and then the mindset of inspiration, and then the mindset of purity of intention, which introduced us to the concept of karma yoga. But we also discussed that karma yoga can only happen when the mind is attached in love to the Supreme Lord. Man yarme, tan karme. Mind in God, body in the world. So how will we develop love for God? Yesterday we discussed the importance of knowledge, the mindset of knowledge. Like in the material realm, knowledge is necessary and essential. The spiritual journey also requires gathering good knowledge. Now, once we have the good knowledge, does that ensure success? Of course not. After you have the theory, you have to implement it in practice. Good ideas are plentiful, but until implemented, they are no use. So what we now need to do is to focus on applying them. And when we start doing that application, we realize the importance of the mindset of self-discipline. Self-discipline. What does that mean? I know something is pleasurable, but I will not do it because it is not beneficial. and I know something is painful, but I will still do it because it is beneficial. This mindset of self-discipline is so important in life. We all have experienced that when you wanted good grades, you had to study even though it was painful. In other words, achieving excellence in education did not come without paying the price for it, undertaking the hardship. When the doctor prescribed this diet for you for your good health, sticking to it was painful, but you knew that good health. Testimonial I heard of Edwin Moses. Some of you may remember his name from the 1980s. He was a black American athlete and a 400 meters hurdler. So Edwin Moses had the world record for the maximum number of consecutive victories in track and field. He also then became PhD in athletics. So he was asked, what is the secret of your success? And the answer he gave was, I have a greater ability to tolerate pain than others do. Think about it. When the athlete is running, the body is screaming, relax. He is overcoming that and exerting himself. So he says, my ability to drive myself is far more than that of the others. That is the reason. I may not be so intelligent. I may not have any other assets, but I can tolerate the pain. But that principle applies to every field of life. Sukharthi tyajate vidya, vidyarthi tyajate sukham. Sukharthina kuto vidya, kuto vidyarthina sukham. One who is a sukharthi, who says, I want sukh now, gratification, rejects vidya. Because vidya requires rejecting immediate gratification. So sukharthi, tyajate vidya, vidyarthi, tyajate sukham. Very simple. There was this experiment conducted by Walter Mischel. He was a researcher, social scientist in Stanford University, which is considered by many to be the best university in the world. So his test was to study the self-discipline that little children possess. Now you can study the self-discipline of adults, but how do you study the self-discipline of little children? But this is how he created his test. He would have the child and put a chocolate in front and say, my child, if you want, you can eat this chocolate. But if you don't eat it for 20 minutes, you will get 2 chocolates. In other words, the immediate gratification, if you can resist, the long-term reward is far more. That is what life is, isn't it? Do you want immediate gratification or you want long-term benefit? So he's testing children, 3-year-olds. If you like, take this 1 chocolate. But if you don't eat for 20 minutes, double chocolate you will get. 500 children were tested. The chocolate would be put in front of them. And then they would be left and the researcher would look from the window, what do they do? For some of the children, this was a no-go. When there is a chocolate, what is there to think about? The moment the researcher left, how? Some of the children pondered over this dilemma for about 2 minutes. What is this? First time in my life I've got such a situation, there is pleasure. But he says, don't eat it. This has never happened in my 3 years of existence. I only learned when I want something, I cry and mummy gives it. Now he says you have to test your own self-control. After 2 minutes, the child would give up. Forget it. Don't think so hard. Some children tried for 7-8 minutes to control. And the way they were controlling was also very interesting. They would divert their attention. Don't look at the chocolate. Then after 7-8 minutes, the struggle is going on between the mind and the intellect. The mind says, eat it. The intellect says, no. So finally, the mind wins. Some of the children actually stayed on for 20 minutes. The control of the mind and the senses. There's long-term reward. Reject it. So after 20 minutes, they got 2 chocolates. Now the interesting thing is, there was a twist that happened. Walter Mischel's daughters were also in those 500 children who had been tested for self-control. And when they grew up, they also went to Stanford. Now, interest in this report was revived, which had been called the toddler's torture. Toddlers are being tortured. So interest was revived. Where are these children now? How are they performing in life? They were all traced and they were followed for the next 20 years. Was most revealing. Control, the maximum self-discipline, willpower. They were performing well in every parameter of life. They had naturally done well in studies because self-control, because ability to focus, ability to shut off other pleasures, diversions, and subsequently in their jobs also, because of their application and dedication, they had moved ahead quickly. They had control over their tongues, so the interpersonal relationships, fightings, etc. were not there. They had control over their words, their taste buds, and that is why they were controlling their diet and in better health. On the other hand, those children who did not have control, who had the worst control, they were in all kinds of problems in life. Their grades were much lower. They were getting thrown out of jobs. They were having interpersonal conflicts, divorces, no control. Their body mass index was all wrong. Their health was wrong. Everything was a problem. 12% of them had been to jail and come back, and they even had chemical addictions. So when this study was published, that is when people realized that the one thing which is so important is willpower, self-discipline, self-control, which puts your whole life in place. So nothing comes free in life. Everything has a price. And the price you have to pay, the willingness to undertake the hardship, the austerity. As the English poet said, the lives of great men were not made by sudden flight. But while their friends slept, they were toiling upwards in the night. In America, a study was done. How many hours do people watch TV? So they found that the factory worker in the production line, he watches 30 hours of TV every week. And the line in charge, he watches 26 hours of TV every week. And the foreman of the workers, he watches 22 hours of TV every week. And the production manager watches 18 hours of TV every week. Do you see the trend? And the deputy director watches 12 hours of TV. The vice president watches 8 hours of TV. And the CEO, only when there is some important educational program, he watches it. So in each case, the path upwards requires tolerating pain, requires undertaking austerities. If somebody promises you, do whatever you like, 3-minute dhyanam, all these kinds of things, there is no shortage of cheaters and the cheated. The internet will tell you spend 2 hours every day on the internet and earn 20 lakh rupees a year. Somebody else will tell you, here is this diet and within 3 weeks you will lose 50 pounds. And somebody else will say all this. Well, the fact is, that is not how life works. Those who wait for the jackpot to open up in their life are actually crackpots. You see, there are no jackpots that open. You have to move ahead slowly. So let us not be those crackpots who keep waiting for the jackpots. Let us follow the sure and safe path to success. Now in America, of course, lotteries got banned out here, but in America they still have the American Lotto with its prize of $630 million. And the winner, he is shown on TV jumping up and down. I have won $630 million. But the point is, they don't tell you the other story. All the people who lost. This guy came up for 5 minutes, I have won. Those people who lost, if they were each given just 3 seconds to come and say, I have lost. For 3 years, that channel would only keep showing the losers. So the probability of winning is 0.00000001. And if you round it up, what do you get? 0. Then do you want to put your faith in 0 or do you want to work hard and reach there? There was once a king. And this king wanted to leave some wisdom for future generations. So he asked his ministers to study and research and come up with something that he could leave for posterity. The ministers referred to the books and journals and magazines of the libraries in the kingdom. And then they culled the knowledge from it and came up with a 7-page extract and presented it before the king. Your Majesty, this is the distilled wisdom of our generation. The king said, if I present 7 pages to people, they will not even read it. I wanted something brief. So they went back to the conference room, they removed paragraphs from here and there, made it more precise. And then they came back with 1 page. Your Majesty, here it is. Brief and crisp. The king said, in this age of WhatsApp, will people read even 1 page? Everybody is forwarding everybody else information, but they are not reading it for themselves. Brahmaji once asked Yamaraj that now Indians have become such big jnanis. They are all sharing so much of jnana with each other. So nobody will be coming to your door for going to hell. Yamaraj said, Pitaji, they are sharing jnana, but they are not reading it for themselves. Just like I sent you a message about how to control cholesterol, did you read it? Brahmaji said, I only forwarded it to 3 broadcast groups, I did not read it. So that's the whole problem. The king said, I want something really precise. These scholars, they went back and they made it even briefer. This time it was 1 paragraph. Oh, king, will this do? The king said, look, we've got the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, the Narad Bhakti Sutras. So the idea of the sutra was, there is an aphorism that people just learn it up. Can you not put all the wisdom in 1 sutra? People will memorize it. So they went back and they returned with 5 words. The king looked at it and he said, this is perfect. The 5 words that convey the wisdom of that period for future generations. And the 5 words were, there are no free lunches. Nothing is free in life. If you want to succeed, pay the price for it. If you want to excel, understand what is required. So whatever your goal, decide what your goal is. Understand what is the price you will have to pay to achieve that goal. And then actually pay the price. And you pay the price through self-discipline, through self-control, through self-abnegation. This then is the 6th mindset for success. We will discuss it further. Let's do a little chanting. Seems that has really struck a chord with everybody. बोलिए श्री राधा कृष्ण भगवान की। We discussed the importance of self-discipline. Let us now go into the physiology of it. Where does this ability for self-discipline come from? It's very interesting. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has said Buddhi Yoga. What is Buddhi Yoga? Control of the mind with the power of the intellect. Buddhi Yoga Upashritya Machittaha Satatam Bhava. But if you go into the physiology, this human brain of ours is special amongst all the creatures we all know. One specialty, of course, is its weight. In proportion to the body weight, it is 1/50th. This is far more than the other creatures. But it also has a special part in front. This is called the prefrontal lobe of the neocortex. Or very simply, in neurology, the prefrontal cortex. And what does that prefrontal cortex do? It gives us the ability to control. This thing is enjoyable, but I will resist. That ability is not there in the animals. They don't have the developed prefrontal cortex. This thing is painful, and yet I will do it. I will persist. So the prefrontal cortex gives us three kinds of abilities. First is I will not. Second is I will. And third is I want. Awareness of my higher goal, my distant objective. So this control that we have is coming from the prefrontal cortex, and it is very special to us humans. Animals don't have that ability. An animal will not say, I want green grass, but let me practice austerity and have brown grass today. Whatever gives pleasure, do it. They are controlled by their impulses. And human beings have the faculty of vivek, discriminatory ability. This is beneficial. This is not beneficial. That control is the prefrontal cortex. And in childhood, this is very less developed. And that is why in children, you don't expect much of this ability. Mummy, I want this. Mummy, I want that. But that self-control starts developing at the age of about 12. And then in early adulthood, it develops fully. So it is in our interest to develop the prefrontal cortex, thereby enhance our willpower and ability. Prefrontal cortex works very much like a muscle. Your muscles, when you exert them, they get tired. So does the willpower. You are exerting your willpower, exerting, and slowly it gets tired. That is why social scientists have discovered that if there is one family where one is a homemaker and the other is earning, and there is another family where both are earning. So in this family there are more fights. And they inquired, why are there more fights? So they discovered that they are exerting their willpower all day long. I don't want to get up so early, but I have to get up. My boss scolds me. I want to scold back, but I control. So all day long they are controlling their willpower. And by evening time the willpower is depleted. Now no control. So somebody says something, but, this is not. The fights increase. There was one German scientist. He actually did a test among students. He divided the students into two groups. The first group of students would be taken to a room, and there would be wonderful cookies smelling of butter, and there would be bland radishes, and they would be told, look, don't eat the cookies, you can only eat the radish if you want. So naturally the willpower was tested. They would be left there for 10 minutes. The student would keep looking at the cookies The researcher would see from the window, some are even lifting it up like this, mouth is watering, but putting it there. Now the willpower is already tested. And then when they would go out, they would be subjected to the test. So different kinds of willpower tests. One is you give them a problem to solve, which can actually not have any solution. So they keep on solving, and then they give up. हमसे नहीं होता. So this group would give up after 7 minutes. The second group of students was taken to a place where there was cookies there, eat as much as you like. And then they were taken to the test. They would continue trying to solve it for 20 minutes before giving up. Their willpower was still fresh. So then these social researchers discovered that just like the muscles, the willpower works in the same way. When you do your push-ups, the first one is so easy, and then slowly it gets more and more difficult until you say, oh, now the muscles are tired. Similarly, when you wake up in the morning, your willpower is full. If you wish to do dhyan, this is the perfect time. Because you can feel all day long it is getting depleted. You are working on your project report. The mind says, so boring. Can I go on the internet and surf around and see the news? And the buddhi says, you have to submit the report to your boss. So exerting willpower all day long. And then, by the evening time, it is depleted. So, there is a corollary to this. And what is the corollary? Just like you can increase your muscles by exerting them, in the same way this muscle of the willpower can also be increased by exerting it. In other words, every time you practice self-discipline, you enhance the muscle of the willpower. Like the brain works, if you do a mathematical problem, the portion of the brain that was required for maths, that gets engaged. And if you keep on doing maths for 5 years, that portion packs more and more gray matter, and you become more and more competent in maths. If somebody is juggling, that sensory motor region of the brain starts developing, and it becomes easier and easier. Similarly, if you exert your prefrontal cortex, it will become stronger and stronger. So this is the muscle of discipline. That is how saints, they achieved discipline. Swami Ramtit, he was the second Swamiji from India to go to USA. He was very attached to apples. And when he would meditate on Sham Sundar, Seb Sundar would come to mind. He said, this is just not acceptable. So he said, I have to train my mind. He would take an apple and keep it in his room. Now the mind says, so nice, can we eat it? And he would scold the mind, hey, khabardar. So all day long he is going by, the apple is there, and the mind is saying, please, and the intellect saying, no. So slowly that control is coming. After 6 days, the apple would rot, he would throw it away and then put the next apple there. So he knew the mind, if it is your slave, it is the best servant. But if it becomes your master, it is your worst master. And that is why we should not listen to the mind. We should make the mind listen. It should become subservient to us. Now, there is a Buddhist technique called Vipassana. I don't know, some of you may be aware of it. It's very interesting. You go and sit in that camp from morning till evening and just keep sitting. Now the mind and senses complain. Can I scratch? No, just tolerate it. Can I eat something now? No, not for right now. Can I speak? No. So they do it for 7 days, 10 days, and it provides astonishing results. People have told me, Swamiji, I had this addiction of smoking, it went away. But they may not know why the addiction went away. But the logic is this, that they were practicing self-control. They were exercising the muscle of self-discipline. And the consequence, they now found it so easy to give this up. However, you don't need to do vipassana. There is a far more effective technique. And what is that? This is pure and simple meditation. What happens in meditation? You sit down in meditation and the mind says, forget it. The intellect says, think of Sri Krishna. The mind says, can I think of Shah Rukh Khan and Amitabh Bachchan? The mind wants to go to the world. And the intellect says, no, I will not. I will and I want. This is my ultimate goal. I will not, I will and I want. All the three aspects of the prefrontal cortex, they get exercised in meditation. So meditation is the most natural and most powerful practice of self-discipline. Of course, you can set up any exercise of self-discipline. I will not scratch no matter what happens, whatever. But meditation is the most powerful. Even if you don't succeed, you are still practicing. All right, don't go here, come here. This is your ultimate goal. So scientists have actually discovered, neurologists, that in an 11-hour session of meditation, the whole neurology of the brain changes. And that is not surprising, because it is such a powerful impact on the mind. So if you were to just do 1 hour of meditation every day, you find the consequences. Now students come and ask me, Swamiji, I cannot focus. What to do? Lack of focus is a mental disease coming from lack of self-discipline. The mind wants gratification, now this pleasure, now that stimulation. It needs to be trained. So I tell the students, just as a starter, sit in meditation for 15 minutes. Bring your Ishtadev in front and tell the mind, you have to stay here for 15 minutes. And you see how your whole personality will start changing. And if you do it for 1 hour, the benefits are immense. So, what we have discussed today is that the gap between knowledge and its implementation is bridged by the mindset of self-discipline. So this self-discipline, some people were gifted, some people, most of us, have to be trained. There is the technique of fervorization. Now the engineers have heard of galvanization of steel and vulcanization of tire tubes. But have you ever heard of fervorization of babies? Let me tell you. There was this gentleman called Roger Ferber. So what he did was, he taught sleep training for babies. When that baby is between 6 months and 2 years, Now the baby wakes up and starts crying. Bah. Now what is the mother's and father's response immediately? They come to the rescue. No, 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 beta, don't cry. Mother is here. It's all right. So the child doesn't learn to handle difficulty, to handle hardship, because the mother is not giving a chance. So Roger Ferber said, no, this is the sleep training. Let the child cry for this many minutes on the first day, and then come and touch the child. I am here, but don't lift. And then after on the third time you lift. And the second day you change by this many minutes. So he put a whole chart. Now once I was in somebody's house in America, and nowadays they have the video on the baby, so the parents can see what's going on. And I was sitting with the parent, and I said, your child has woken up and is crying. Never mind, Swamiji. Never mind. I am getting my child fervorized. So the child was crying for a few minutes, then the child stopped and started speaking to himself. He had learned to handle difficulty. And this was a wise parent. You see, you make it too easy for the children and you land up with grown-up babies. And if you want to have real people, then let them handle difficulties. So some children got a chance to develop self-discipline from childhood itself. Now, if you and I, we were not fervorized, now is there still hope for us? So we discussed that just like you practice your muscles and develop them, the self-discipline comes from the physiological part called the prefrontal cortex, which, like anything else in the brain, can be developed by repeated exercise. And that gives us all hope that one day we too, with sufficient practice, can subdue the senses and bring the mind under control. So over a journey of 6 days, we have covered mindsets from positivity to their implementation through self-discipline. Now the last mindset. When you try and implement all these, you will still discover problems. Is there anybody here who doesn't have problems? Impossible. So we need a sure shot attitude towards problems as well. What to do when the inevitable problems strike? We will discuss this last mindset, growing in the face of problems. Boliye Shri Venkatesh Bhagwan ki Jai. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Shri Sadgurudev ki Jai. So Divakar, before you announce, I have an announcement. We have in Odisha, on 100 acres, we are building the Jagat Guru Kripalu University. So people have been requesting to know a little about this, and we are going to show you this 5-minute video, which will then be followed by the announcements.
This is the beautiful planet Earth on which we live, with its majestic mountains, scenic valleys, tranquil lakes and rich forests, whose abundant resources we utilize for our sustenance and succor. Yet, we must also ponder over the legacy we will leave behind for our progeny. Will we pass on to our children a world full of conflict, anxiety, stress, poverty, malnutrition and disease? Or as caring and responsible human beings, will we strive to improve it for future generations? There are many causes worthy of our support to make the world a better place. But what is the one thing that could make the maximum difference to the quality of human life? It is education, enshrined in the universal human values, capable of equipping students with noble qualities of head and heart. With this noble goal, Jagadguru Kripaluji Maharaj, the fifth original Jagadguru in Indian history, envisaged a multidisciplinary university providing holistic education which would draw the best from the ancient cultural traditions and modern scientific spirit, leading to all-round development of the students in three crucial areas: knowledge, personality skills, and character. The proposed university would help fulfill the large void of inadequate spiritual instruction in modern education. The government of Odisha, desirous of promoting research in the areas of spirituality, yoga, meditation, and naturopathy, as a part of its human resource development policy, signed an MOU with the Jagadguru Kripalu Yoga Trust. JK conducts yoga and meditation camps and spiritual workshops in over 50 cities of India, spread over the states of Odisha, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and Delhi. It has permanent ashrams in Cuttack, Rampur, Jajpur, Delhi, Karanjia, Rairampur, etc., and congregational centers in more than 40 towns and villages. For the establishment of the Jagadguru Kripalu University, JKU India acquired 100 acres of land between the Mahanadi River and the Chanduka Forest Reserve, neighboring 200 villages. Starting off with zero infrastructure, electricity, water, roads and telecommunication were gradually brought to the site. In 2012, Jagadguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj held an 8-day retreat and inaugurated the campus. Since then, regular retreats have been conducted, attended by thousands of devotees from around the world. While the official formalities for the university were being completed, a 50-bedded naturopathy hospital was established in 2013, the first of its kind in eastern India. Camps and workshops were held all over the state to educate people about holistic health and healthy living.
My name is Jayesh Mankar. I am from Phoenix, Arizona, United States. I was here from 21st January till 5th of February on 14 days course, where I have reduced about 6.5 kilogram of the weight and reduced my insulin from 120 units a day to just 30 units a day. It has been wonderful in the last 14 days for us. We enjoyed. I came over here with my full family. I was not thinking we will stay for 14 days, but I did stay and it was the great result.
A charitable allopathic hospital was set up to provide free medical services to 5,000 villagers in a catchment area of 10 kilometers radius. For the spiritual and social development of the neighboring community, a beautiful temple was built in village Bara. A skill development center was set up for vocational training of the rural youth, leading to employment through tie-ups with the industry. The Jagadguru Kripalu University project has already provided employment and hopes of a brighter future to neighboring villagers.
ମୋ ନାଁ ବିଜୟ କୁମାର ରାଉତ। ପରିବେଶ ଭଲ, ଘର ବାହାର ଆଉ ବଗିଚା କାମରେ ଗଛ ଲଗେଇବା, ଗଛ କାଟିବା, ପାଣି ଦେବା ଇତ୍ୟାଦି କାମ ମୁଁ ଘରେ କରୁଅଛି।
ଆମ ଘରରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି। ମୋ ନାଁ ସୁଷମା ନାୟକ, ଲେଚରପତି ହସ୍ପିଟାଲରେ କାମ କରୁଛି। ସୁଇପର କାମ 4 ବର୍ଷ ହେଲା କାମ କଲିଣି, ମୋତେ ଭଲ ଲାଗୁଛି।
ଉତ୍ତମ କରୁଛି। ମୋ ଘର ଗଳମା, ମୁଁ କୁପାଳ ହସ୍ପିଟାଲ ନେଚୁରୋପାଥି କାମ କରେ। ଆଉ ରୁମ୍ ସଫା କରେ, ଆଉ କିଚେନ୍ ବି ସଫା କରେ, ଜୋକା ଘର ବି ସଫା କରେ, ଆଉ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାର ବି କାମ କରେ।
ଗୋଟେ ଧରଣକା ରାମଚଣ୍ଡୀ ଘର 4 ବର୍ଷ ହେଲା କାମ କଲିଣି। ତାପରେ ଏଠି ଉଡ଼ାଉଡ଼ି ଯେଉଁ କାମ ଚାଲିଛି, ଫୁଲ ସଫାଣି ଚାଲିଛି।
With infrastructure of Rs 25 crores already in place, JK Yog has now taken construction work of the university in 2 phases. Phase 1 construction is in full swing for the Faculty of Health Sciences, the Center for Fine Arts, the Institute for Vedic Sciences, and the School of Human Values, along with staff quarters, students' hostels, library, etc. Later, in Phase 2, the Center for Rural Development, the Center for Rural Economics, and Institute for Tribal Development, the School for Business Studies, and the Faculty of Engineering will be developed. The capital outlay for Phase 1 and 2 is Rs 25 and 50 crores respectively. The Jagadguru Kripalu University, with its holistic approach, combining the best of ancient and modern pedagogy with exposure to real-life scenarios, problem-solving skills, and crucial thinking, will create a pool of next-generation leaders. The university will offer free education to the rural youth and uplift the tribal communities of Odisha. Free computer literacy classes will be conducted in weekends to inhabitants from 200 nearby villages. Help give the gift of education to the underprivileged youth and participate in uplifting a backward region of India by offering your time, finances, energy, or skills in any way you are inspired.
Thank you, Swamiji. That was an amazing lecture we have heard. Thank you one more time, and let's all give it one round of applause. Okay, apologize for that. Thank you, Swamiji, for a great lecture we had, and we all learned the importance of self-discipline. Let's all give announcements to make. Tomorrow, after Aarti, Swamiji will be distributing prasad to all the devotees, so please do not miss that opportunity. All books authored by Swami Shri Mukundhanandha are available here near the podium and also this stall outside. So anybody would like to get their book signed, you may purchase a copy of the book and come over for a signature by Swamiji. Thank you. Yesterday we have announced that JK Yog Hyderabad chapter would be having their monthly satsangs in Padmarao Nagar, and all the people who are planning to attend satsang, please assemble here by 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. Swamiji would like to have a special meeting with all the devotees who would like to attend the monthly satsangs at Hyderabad. JK Yog is going to conduct spiritual retreat, Sadhana Shibir, that is coming up very soon from December 25th to 29th. We have shown you a video of the Sadhana Shibirs yesterday. So please contact the information desk if you would like to participate in the Sadhana Shibir. Yesterday, many of the attendees have asked about options for making a donation. So today we have set up a donation box outside. You may either pay by cash or check, and checks must be payable to JKYT General Fund. And please subscribe to Swami Shri Mukundhanandha's YouTube and Facebook channels. Fresh content gets posted almost on a daily basis on both Hindi and English YouTube channels. So please do subscribe to them so that you would not miss the divine lectures from Swamiji. JK Yoga also offers many free online sessions such as satsang, meditation, guided meditation sessions and Bhagavad Gita online sessions. You may find more information about those online sessions on jkyog.org and jkyog.in. Swamiji has an upcoming Visakhapatnam trip that's going to start next week. The full details of the Visakhapatnam tour are there on jkyog.in/events. More information about the Visakhapatnam tour can be obtained from the information desk outside or with any of the volunteers here. And many of you have inquired about the life membership programs as well. The program is designed to support all of the JK Yoga philanthropic projects and JK University project as well. If anyone would like to support these efforts, please pick up the flyer at the information desk or the flyer here. And I'm happy to announce today that Mr. Mukesh, Mahendra and Usha, if they are in the audience, please do come over to the stage. Please do come over to the stage so that Swamiji would take you with the shower. Thank you, sir, for your generous donation. And tomorrow there will be House Satsang at Miapur. The address of the Miapur House Satsang at 8 a.m. is pasted onto the wall here and also onto the information desk outside. If anybody would like to meet Swamiji morning tomorrow in House Satsang, you may avail this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Divakar. So, like he announced, if people have been coming to me and saying, Swamiji, we have something to ask. So, this will be the last session tomorrow morning. We'll have little kirtan and chanting from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, followed by Q&A. So, if you have any questions, you can join us there for the last such opportunity. Let's all stand up for the art. Everybody is welcome to come up for